Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Mary Jo, also known as Sojo, and we're gonna finish these gnome blocks into our quilt top today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some sashing. So I'm gonna cut some 2.5-inch strips, and this edge right here is 22.5 inches long, and this one is 14.5 inches long. So we're gonna start off by cutting 6 2.5-inch strips. And I'm using my Stripology XL ruler. Makes things super fast. Alright, cut all those strips. Looks like I might need to change my blade here. There we go. And I am just using some Kona white. I keep Kona white by the bolts here, just for any background that I might have. I also keep some other Konas. I keep Kona snow, and I have a light and a dark gray that I just keep a bolt of on hand. All right, gonna push that out of the way, and then I need to make some cuts. So I'm just going to line all of these up here. And I need 6 that are 22.5 and 6 that are 14.5. So I'm just lining these up on top of each other. If these were shorter than the 22.5, I wouldn't unfold them. I would just keep them folded and cut. But since they're longer than that 22, and since they are 22.5, I'm just going to unfold them and stack them here. All right, line them all up. Gonna line this up. 14.5. 14.5's all cut. Now line them up and do the 22.5. Stack them back up. Now this is my own finishing. This did not come with instructions for finishing. You can do whatever you want with the blocks. This is just what I chose to do. All right. So this, I'm gonna line this up on this 10-inch line here. Cut those off. Now this only goes to, well, 20 inches. So this would be 21, so that's 22. It's gonna bring this down here to 20 at 2.5. Make do. And there we go. All of my sashing's cut. Okay, I'm gonna start laying this out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this dark blue cornerstones in the 4 corners here. So I'll put that one, and then this, and then I'm going to put that, and then we'll put another one of these. And then that at the end. So that is going to be my first row. I'm just going to stack it all up since I know that's what I'm doing. Now, next, we need a long sashing. We need this long sashing. And then that block. And then another long sashing. Then that block, and then that one. So that will be the second row I pinned together here. The first row being that sashing. Then we're going to go to the third sashing row, which will be that color. The small sashing, and then this. Now this, they didn't come with any extra squares, so I just sewed 2 half square triangles together to get me a square. So I can put that right in the center of that quilt. And then I'll need another short. And then that will go at the end. So that will be the third row. I'm going to put that under there. And then the fourth row, I'm going to put another long sashing strip. And then my girl gnome. Another long sashing strip. And then that block, and then another sashing row. Let me stack all that up here. All right, and then we're going to go to the last row, which again, that will go in the corner. That, this, another short one, and then that in the other corner. So I got these all stacked up. I'm going to pin them, and then I'm going to do more of that web piecing again. We are back at the sewing machine. We're going to start sewing all these together. So I've got them pinned, all the rows pinned together. So as I start sewing these all the way down, it's also going to sew them into columns. So we'll keep everything together in the right place. Now, what I also do, this is just a crazy me, I like to pin. I pin everything. But in my rows, when I make my rows, I'll put a pin and I'll put the number of pins that each row is. So like this is my first row, so I have 1 pin. This, which is my second row, there's 2 pins up there in a corner. So that way, if for some reason those rows would get out of order, I know where I'm at. Alright, so here we go. We're going to start sewing. Okay, so I'm back over here at my pressing area. And so we're going to press all of these towards the sashing. Now, as I said, I put different pins here to show me the number of rows. Since this is all web pieced together, I don't need this because this is all together. So what I do, and this is just me, I will take these pins out and then I end up putting just 2 pins crossed over up here. And that kind of indicates my corner of my quilt that, well, I guess it would be my upper left, but I consider it the quilt's upper right since you're looking at it. And that always tells me where it's at. Now, on this particular quilt, I don't really need that because I think I'll be able to tell the gnomes if they're upside or down. Upside or right side down. So, let's get to pressing. Now, I will say, with that video, it said, if only I could sew in real life that fast. You know, that was about 10 minutes and turned into 30 seconds. Imagine how much more I could get done if I sewed that fast. Alright, let's get to pressing. Okay, I am all done with the pressing. I am just going to start pinning again. And then after I get it all pinned, we're going to go back over to the sewing machine and start sewing some more. Alright, I'll see you in a few. So, I ran into a little bit of an issue, and I don't really understand why this is, but my 14.5 is only this block. The other ones are smaller because they added 1 more row in this block compared to my other rows. So all of this is wrong. So how I'm going to fix this is I'm going to add another 2.5 inch strip up here. I'm going to add some more strips. I'll let you know. Okay, so I am back over here to press this again. And what I did was, because that extra row had 7, luckily I had cut my sashing that goes on the top and the bottom of the block with that extra row in it. So what I needed to do was just add sashing that go up and down along the sides. And so I ended up just adding that sashing in the middle. So I needed to add 3 of the blocks, a 2.5 inch strip to 3 of them. So it ended up, I just put 2 sashing blocks down the bottom and 3 sashing strips up at top to equal this all out. So I'm just pressing this again, and then once I get this all pressed, we'll pin it and sew it. Okay, so I'm back to the sewing machine. I figured out my, little problem, and we got that all together. Now, I personally don't like the fact that that one block was one, column bigger. I think they all should have been the same size. But with that being said, I probably should have also measured them and looked a little closer, and then I would have discovered that. So going forward, we'll definitely take a look at that. But it doesn't matter. I've got it all figured out. So let's sew this body together, press it, and then start adding borders. So now I've got that all put together, and what I want to do is I'm going to add a border. So I'm going to just going to double that over and see how long this is. I got about 25.25. And it's folded over, so double that, that would be about 50.5. Let's see how big this is. By 17.25. So that would be 34.5. Now, because I'm going to add 5 inches on each side to that border, 34.5 plus the 10 on each side would be 44.5. Plus you would take an inch away because of the seam allowance. So that would be 43.5. All right, so with that being said, I am going to cut 6 5-inch strips. So getting my Kona out. See that piece of white there? I may need it for a future project. All the wrinkles out there. Woo! My bolt fell. Sewjoquilts XL ruler out. And I'm going to cut 6 5-inch pieces. 5, 10, 15, 20, that's 4. I still didn't change that blade. Oh goodness, I really need to though. But the blades are across the room. 4. I'll just press harder on the last 2. Two more. Oh, I'm so sorry. Goodness. I am attacking my camera here. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this and record it. Alright, I need 2 more 5-inch. So I'm going to clean the edge. 5, 10. Alright, we're good with that. Now I'm going to stack these up. I'm going to do 3. And 3. And then I'm going to cut the selvage edges off. And just cut off those edges. Okay, cut those off. So now I can sew. I need 2 borders here for my sides. So I'm going to sew this piece and another piece, and we'll be back. Okay, now I didn't record that, but I did sew these edges together. So I'm going to measure my quilt one more time here. And again, this is for the side borders. So I'm just going to fold it over. Just going to measure it here. And again, I'm still getting about 25 1/4. Okay. And that's folded over twice. So, since we already have a seam here, I am just going to place the seam right here on 0. Just like that. And place this other one right here on 0. both on 0. So now I'm going to find 25 1/4, which is right there. And make a cut. Alright. Those are the leftover pieces. So I'm going to press the seam. I'm going to press it to one side real quick. And start pinning. Here's my quilt. We're at the side, and I start pinning in the center here. Which the center will be right here, this cornerstone. So I'm just gonna find the center right there and put a pen right there in that center. And then I know I just line that seam right up there. And then I come down to the ends. And put a couple pens. Down there. And that next seam. And then I come down to the other end. Pin those down. And then I go back up here and start pinning. And then when I'm pinned this side down, I'll pin the other side and then go to the sewing machine, sew it, press it, and then do the same for the top. So I will see you back when I'm putting the top on. Side borders are done. Now I'm just going to add the top. So I'm going to measure how wide that is. Find the middle here. Fold it in half. Lay that on 0. It looks like it's 21 3/4. So 21 and a half would be 42 plus another 1.5, which would be 43 and a half. Let me make sure here, just one more time. Measure twice, cut once, right? Yes. 21 3/4. So, I'm going to line this one over here. No way. That is right at 21 3/4. Already. Alright, so I'm going to pin this, sew it, press it, and then we'll be back for the final look. And here it is, the final quilt top, and it comes out to 43.5 by 60.